Our lesson today is Isaiah 40. The book of Isaiah is one of the greatest books of the Bible. It is considered such because it is a mini Bible within itself. There are 66 books in the Bible. There are 66 chapters in the book of Isaiah. The first 39 books of the Old Testament, commonly called the Hebrew Bible, are mirrored in the book of Isaiah. The first 39 books of the Old Testament talk about God's judgment and God's holiness. The first 39 chapters of the book of Isaiah talk about God's judgment and God's holiness. The next 27 chapters in the book of Isaiah reflect God's grace. Just like the 27 books in the New Testament reflect the grace of Jesus Christ, the grace of God through his Son, Jesus Christ. So the book of Isaiah is this compendium of not just one writing, but really some would say in theological circles that there is not just one author of the book of Isaiah, there are actually three. Because when you look at what Isaiah says in chapters 1 through 39, he talks about the judgment of God and the warning of God. Remember, I said last week or a couple of weeks ago that prophets warn God's people. And so Isaiah is one of the greatest prophets. A point of fact, he is considered one of the major prophets. There's Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel. Those four are considered the major prophets of the Old Testament, Hebrew Bible. Then there are 12 minor prophets. In total, there are 16 whose books bear their name. But there are other prophets who do not have books named after them, including Elijah and Elisha. This prophetic office, if you would, is one of warning, but in many ways, as I have said before, is one of grace, because to warn someone is actually to give them grace. To warn them before they get to a point of no return, and that they may be able to turn around. Amen? God sends prophets to warn. I mentioned several weeks ago, back on Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, that Reverend Dr. King is considered one of America's greatest prophetic voices, and often say that prophet's words, many don't realize the veracity, the truthfulness of the prophet's words until after they are dead. Amen? It is after they have died that we say, oh, wow, we should have listened to him, or we should have listened to her. In some respects, it might be too late. But in many ways, God is a gracious God who still gives us chances even when we didn't deserve